If the idea of losing weight feels impossible, let me tell you the 3 things that I changed that completely transformed my life. I dropped 40 pounds in 4 months, and I'm gonna share with you exactly what helped and what didn't if you're on that journey. So let's get right into the video. I'm gonna break down the pros and cons, but a disclaimer is that I'm not a dietitian or a trainer or a professional by any means. This is just what worked for me, and I'm hoping that it can help someone else in their journey, but always consult someone if you feel like you really just don't know. The obvious one is exercise. You might be exercising right now, maybe going to the gym a couple times a week. You're maybe really going hard, or you may be starting off slow, but what really helps is having a plan. Sometimes when you walk into the gym and you think, oh, I'm just gonna be in here and I'm gonna let my mind, I'm just gonna go with the flow. I'm just gonna do vibes. Vibes don't work. Listen, I tried to do the vibe method so long to the point where I vibed myself out of the gym for 30 days because I was just like, I don't want to do this no more. Your plan has to look like Mondays, I'm going to focus on this, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursday, and so on. So this is a controversial topic, but cardio is my best friend. I know a lot of people say like, you can't just run, you can't just walk and lose the weight, but the reality is that you can't. The back part of that is you can't keep it off. You can lose the weight for sure, but you can't keep it off by just doing cardio alone. Now, someone out there I'm sure is doing that and has done that for 10 years. That's awesome for you. But what I've learned in my journey is that strength training also needs to be a part of that. But I'll get into that later in the video. If it's hard for you to get into running, these are a couple of methods that helped me out when I was going through different parts of my journey. Method 1 is to do interval cardio. That means that I'm going to start off in an interval of walking for maybe 45 seconds and then I'm going to sprint for 20 seconds. And I'll do maybe about 3 to 5 sets of that and then decide that I'm going to walk or be at a specific comfortable pace for the remainder of the workout. So basically, if you have a 30-minute workout and it's only on the treadmill, for the first 2 to 3 minutes, you're just walking, getting your heart rate up. That's awesome. Getting your bones all ready to go. And then kind of after that 3 to 4 minute mark, you can start interval training. After that 3 to 4 minute mark, you can start doing the intervals for either 3 sets or 5 sets. 3 sets I would recommend if you're first starting out. 5 sets if you've been kind of working out but didn't really have a plan. Over time, your endurance will build, which means you'll want to do more sets at the same pace or less sets at a higher pace, like a higher intensity. Whatever works for you, make it work. But that's how you're gonna start off, by knowing every Monday and Friday, this is what I'm doing, interval cardio. So that plan can start to be like, all right, I'm already gonna go ahead and get myself into the mindset of this. Method 2, this is for people who are interested in long distance running. If you ever decide you wanna run a marathon, whether that be a half marathon, whatever the miles are, a pro tip that I heard is when you are running, you're gonna be jogging for the most of it. So maybe you're on 4.5 to 5 speed on the treadmill. Maybe you're on 4 or 5 speed on the treadmill, enough for your body to just jog and feel comfortable. But when you get tired, say you've been running for maybe 5 minutes and it's deciding to be like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can keep up, put the speed down to like 3.7 or something like that. Say you're on a treadmill, say you're outside. I'm just talking for people that might be in a gym or people that also might just be outside. So it's attainable and approachable for all. You are going to go to kind of like a speed walk, but you're still in the motions of jogging. This tricks your brain into thinking I am still running, but you're catching your breath at the same time without having to come to a complete stop. With your heart rate going down, you want to kind of keep a steady level when you are running and trying to build that endurance. Method 3, when I first lost the 40 pounds in 4 months, sprinting was probably best things about working out, and it made me want to continue doing that. And what's crazy, please tell me I'm not the only one, because if I am, that's fine. But I want to know if you guys do this too. Does anybody else find a couple songs or create a playlist where they feel like they are a Marvel character when they're sprinting? Listen, hear me out. Long story short, there was a season of my life where I was pursuing acting for a while. I had a couple of small gigs and they're nowhere on TV. Like, don't even ask. I have 1 Netflix credit, but that's another story for another day. And sometimes I would just put on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. theme song. I'm not going to put it for copyright reasons, but I was in love with that show. I wanted to be a superhero so bad. I was really into WandaVision at one point in my life. I was like, Monica Rambeau, I'm gonna be her little sister, like watch out. And that, I would put that on and I would just lock in. Like truly, I was like, dun, 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 dun. It was a whole thing. So just let me know if you do that in the comments. All right, back to the video. Method 3 looked like strictly jump rope, cardio, that's it. So I learned that jump roping has a lot of great benefits. Like it can release your lymph nodes. It can really just like reduce inflammation in your face because of the way that your body is jumping up and down. It's similar to jumping jacks. You don't have to jump rope. Just any movement, even if you just bounce up and down for a couple of sets, it's really helpful for the inflammation. So I would jump rope for the first 5 minutes of kind of getting into the gym or getting to wherever I'm deciding to work out. Then after that, I go straight to the treadmill and I decide, all right, I'm gonna do a 20-minute workout. What that looks like is I'm going to walk for about 60 seconds and I'm gonna do a sprint. So 2 of 3 of the methods had sprinting involved because that is when fat loss truly happened for me. And I've did a little bit of research, not a lot, but a little bit of research around how fat loss is found in when you're sprinting more than when you're walking. Over time, walking will help you with that, but if you want to lose it quicker and over a specific time frame, it's important that you incorporate sprinting somewhere in a set of your routine. So the too long don't read version of exercise: number 1, interval walk and sprint. Number 2, long distance brain trick, continue to jog, but at a lower and slower pace until you catch your breath and then keep it pushing. And number 3, romanticize the workout. At the end of the day, as I've gone deeper into my workout journey, cardio is what started it and it really helped me shed the pounds. But it would have been even better if I would have started to incorporate strength training after I dropped the 40 pounds, because what that is, that helps you build muscle. So it helps your body lean out and tone out and allow yourself to see the flat stomach stay flat or see the arm flab disappear. Don't think you're gonna get bulky, because for the majority of my life, that is what I told my parents. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to lift a weight because I like my spaghetti arms. I want to look cutesy in my little halter tops. At the time when I was wearing halter tops, now I don't really dress like that, but it is so important for you to incorporate some kind of weight. So if you have to do a 10-pound weight and decide to do a couple of reps, go on TikTok, go on Facebook, I don't know, and find people that do dedicated fitness pages and find some sets that you can create a collection or create a collection of notes in your notes app so that you can go back to it and just use that after you do your cardio routine. Because strength training, if cardio helps you lose the weight, strength training is what helps you keep the weight off. Ask anyone. At the end of the day, get daily movement, because mobility is a blessing. And I don't want you to take that for granted. We are so blessed if you are a viewer who is able to get up out of bed on your own. Do not take mobility for granted, because what we do now in our 20s and 30s is really what sets us up for the rest of our life if we continue through and build that, learn that habit. Nutrition. You can't outwork a bad diet. I don't care what anyone says. You can do all the strength training, all the cardio, all the everything in the world, but if you eat like crap, you're going to continue feeling and looking that way. When I lost the 40 pounds, what I decided to eat every single morning for 3 months, I ate nothing but oatmeal and berries. Nothing else touched my mouth for breakfast besides oatmeal. That's how dedicated I was. I was tired of it. I was over it. I was over looking at myself in the mirror and thinking, dang, you're so close, but you keep putting stuff in your body that's getting you further and further away from what you feel good like. It's not even about looking in the mirror and saying like, oh my gosh, I'm so pretty, I'm so cute. Like, I'm that way regardless. And that is not cockiness, that's confidence. But at the end of the day, I didn't feel good inside. I felt like sluggish and crap, and I wanted to take a 2 p.m. nap every day. That's no longer. If I got tired of the oatmeal, I did drink my food. So I would put all the berries, maybe a little bit of honey, a lot of ice and water as a base, maybe orange juice as a base sometimes, and I would drink that. And then what would have been really helpful is that I would put something solid in my body. So just eating like a banana, because that would just sustain me for honestly the workout until I decided, okay, I'm gonna eat again, get a lot of protein, get a lot of vegetables. If you're struggling with that same thing where you're working out, but it's really hard to put down the donuts, or it's really hard to put down the bread or pasta or gluten, whatever, what's gonna save you is meal planning or meal prepping. You can choose both, you can choose one. Either way, it will set you up for success. That is my healthy hack to eat the best way possible. Because when you take the guesswork out of eating, it makes your life so much better. I mean, there was one week where I had meal prepped the entire week. I knew exactly what I was gonna have for lunch. Breakfast was always easy. I could just make an egg. I could go off vibes with breakfast because I knew no matter what, I only had proteins and vegetables and fiber to eat, because that's what I filled the house with. And it was things I actually wanted to eat. Like, I didn't force myself to just be like, I'm not gonna eat any of this. Like, no. I cut up the fruit already, so I'd make a quick fruit bowl. I would also just warm up some hot water, make some oatmeal, and call it a day and put some fruit in there. And then if I was feeling a smoothie, great. If I felt like juicing, great. I already had all the stuff prepared. And then I would have some kind of protein, whether that be eggs, whether that be steak, just really anything that would help me get fuel for the day. Meal planning is when you are planning to go to the grocery store and you're not gonna just shove all that stuff in your fridge. You're gonna chop up the mushrooms, you're gonna chop up the spinach, spinach, you're gonna chop up the lettuce, you're gonna chop up all the fruits and the vegetables, you're gonna put them in little glass containers, and then you're gonna put them in the fridge. And that way, when you get hungry, all you need to do is whip out a skillet, put a little olive oil or butter on there, put some mushrooms in the skillet, put some bell peppers, put whatever else in that skillet, saute those up. You got half of your plate done already. And then whatever you're in the mood for that's protein based, maybe you want a little bit of carbs, a lot of fiber, do it. Put a sweet potato in the oven and call it a day. Do it. Like, have the chicken, have the steak, have the ground beef, have the ground turkey already chopped up or just available so that you can just put it in the skillet when your vegetables are done. And there you go. Meal prepping is when you actually assemble the stuff together. So you have planned all your stuff. They're in little glass containers, but maybe you decide to take it a step further and you say, I'm gonna just go ahead and make the ground beef and put the vegetables in my little wrap, and I'm going to put aluminum foil and make 4 or 5 of them so that I don't even have to think about it. I can just take it out, put it in the oven real quick, and go to work. That is gonna make your life so much easier. Both of these are great choices. It makes it easier by taking the guesswork out so that you're not running to Papa John's or running to Popeyes or running to Chick-fil-A. Like, every once in a while, maybe once, maybe twice a month, that's fine. Don't go crazy, like get a regular meal, don't get a large, just get a regular meal so you can get a taste until eventually you just don't have a taste for it. Because the reality is, the more whole foods you put in your body, the less you're gonna crave the fast food. You're gonna notice the difference in quality, and it's gonna completely change your life. If the hardest part on this list so far is eating and finding good foods and getting healthy nutrition, I'm going to introduce you to the Let Pot hydroponic growing system. This is one of their flagship products designed for growing fruits, vegetables, herbs, all year round. It has 12 planting pods with smart app controls and an advanced hydroponic technology. It's perfect for environments with limited space, especially for someone like myself who does not have a house yet, but eventually wants one with a garden. This gives me the practice I need. Even if you're not home, you can use their Let Pot app and do a self-watering smart control system where it waters your plants and you don't even have to do it yourself. For someone like me who's always on the go, that is very important. If this sounds like you, use code PARTYOF1 for an exclusive discount. And lastly, mindset. You can't do step 1 or 2 without a changed mindset. Everywhere in my life, I have been calling on God. And don't click off if you're not really in that space or really believe that. Like, truly see how the Holy Spirit can move in your life, even if it's challenging for you to hear this, because this transformed mine. When I've called on God for literally every single thing, it's like something in me switches where I'm capable, I'm able to do it. The doubt, it's not even in my mind anymore. Say, for example, this is gonna be a little bit more of a funnier example. I know I have to be at work because I have to do a meeting in like 30 minutes. But all of a sudden, all that fiber that I ate after my workout is starting to move. I literally pray, God, like, push this stuff out of me so that I can make it to work on time. And almost instantaneously it happens. Now, this is a disclaimer that I'm not just saying pray and be like, oh, please let this happen. And it happens. Having that practice of calling on God in every single area of your life allows you to get in that practice of saying, I trust you with every single thing down to the wire. So I can trust you with the big things. That's what we've been learning about truly kind of in this season of my life, both at church, both in just my conversations with friends and family. The recurring theme that I keep hearing is trust. And it's just really important because I've looked at my life, even if I just assess like the last 3 months of my life, where in areas I didn't trust God by the way that I showed up with my actions. Like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I need to like control this. Oh no, they can't do it the way I do it. Sometimes I just do what I can do. And I say, God, like, I've done what I feel like I can do right now. Please help me provide the rest, or please bring someone in my life or a group of people in my life that can help me finish this, whatever it may look like. Every area where I thought it wasn't possible, God showed me a way where it was. So say, for example, I'm like, God, I really don't know how I'm going to pay a bill, or I don't know how I'm going to pass this test, or I don't know if I'm going to get this job. Whether I get it or not, whether it comes through or not, I am relying on God to provide for me. Because at the end of the day, what I've been learning is that we are the managers and God is the owner of it all. The money, the job, the relationships, all of it. It belongs to Him. And what I've started to realize is I have to be a better steward over what I have, whether it be this platform, whether it be my body, like truly treating my body as a temple. If God can trust me with doing right by my body, by my finances, by my discipline, He can trust me with the dream life I want to build, the dream life He wants to give me, but He has to see certain things happen before it happens. So if you're like, oh, I don't know, like this all sounds good, but I've tried and failed. You have to find a way. And the way for me is prayer. It may feel like God is not near you. It may feel like, do you even hear me? He does. One that shows dedication, it shows persistence, it shows that you're someone that's gonna keep showing up. Even when you feel like the scale isn't moving, the bank account looks the same, the relationship, you're unsure, you put it all in God's hands. You truly just say like, God, I have no idea how this is gonna work, but I trust that you're gonna make it happen. So at the end of the day, if you do nothing more, exercise, because motion is lotion, daily movement is needed. Nutrition is so important. You cannot outwork a bad diet. Decide to eat more whole foods, drink as much water as possible, because sometimes you're not hungry, you're just thirsty, and rely on God for absolutely every single thing in your life. I don't care what it is. It can be the camera battery. Like, pray that you have another battery that is fully charged. You build your dream life starting in those 3 directions. I have started to build my dream life on those foundations, and it's completely transformed my life. I'm living the fruits of my labor right now. I'm growing more and sowing more seeds. I'm seeing that garden, that plant truly grow, and it's just gonna be so beautiful once I truly see all that God can do, not only in my life as you watch this video, but in your life. I don't make these videos just for me. I make them because I spread the gospel through this message. I spread the gospel through encouragement, through letting you know, like, if even one of you watching this video decides to pick up a Bible, decides to pray, decides to call on God, even in the midst of you driving, in the midst of you, being frustrated about something, if you just say like, God, and then let your mouth and your heart speak, He knows what that posture looks like. That is the goal. Like, it's great seeing the subscriber count go up. It's great. It's awesome. But at the end of the day, if no one is impacted by this, it's pointless. So all in all, I really hope that gave you some encouragement. I hope that gave you some motivation that turns into discipline. And if you really enjoyed these videos, like, leave it in the comments below so I know, make more videos like this, because these are things that I love talking about. And the more I know it's helping you, the more I'm gonna wanna do it. So if you stayed until this long in the video, leave this emoji so I know that you're a real one. At the end of the day, start slow, keep the momentum, trust in God. And I'll see y'all on the next episode of Party One Podcast. Peace.